jump on them or whatever and just try to play silly. And I have the mindset of like, just make every moment like good. Like, what can I do in this moment to just enjoy it and to pause? And, even like if life's crazy and going nuts, like, how can I invest into him or invest into our marriage? And I think when you switch that mindset of like, this one thing or overall, I don't know, this whole thing of like a good marriage, and just think of like, okay, how can I be a good wife today? How can I be a good husband today? How can we have a good marriage today? Is when it's going to change, because that's what it takes. It's just like that daily consistent of being there for each other and thinking of each other and knowing that you're on the same team, and like, not he's not my enemy. I think a lot of times it's like, well, he did this and da da da, and like, I get it, there's can be a lot of hurt in marriages, but I think when you have that mindset, it separates you. So you have to like remind yourselves that you're one team.
Our video went out, so I'm going YouTube
Oh.
live. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
You're on the spot. Okay. We're doing our podcasting. You guys are really going to like this podcast. Okay. Let's jump over to, the common phrase, put your spouse first. What do you think when you hear that?
I think that my wife does an amazing job at this, and I kind of wish I could think of more examples of how I do.
Aw.
But I think that she's always thinking about what I'm doing. I somewhat often do side jobs, things like that, and she's always like ready for me when I get home. Like, she's made me a really good meal, or she's got my plate ready, or she's got there's been times she's had like a bath ready with snacks and just different things because she knows I'm tired, and so she's always thinking about that. So she's always putting me first.
Aww.
Okay, so I feel like a terrible wife now. Very terrible. I feel guilty.
Well,
Okay.
Samantha makes me food when I'm hungry.
Stop
like in the
it.
middle of the night. Like, she's
Stop
just
it.
like way over the top. I can't imagine like being able to like, I'm just like, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. I don't even want to do it for myself. And she's like up doing it. So that's just one thing that makes me feel so loved.
Did she always do that? Or how did you know to do that? Was that modeled for you?
I think I've pretty much done it our whole marriage. My mom was always very servant, so like, she would make everyone's plates, and if you needed anything, she'd always get up and get this stuff for you. So I definitely think that I learned it from that. But clearly, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. He's talked about food a lot. No, but I do love cooking, and so that's the one way I feel like I can love on people, is like I can make them something yummy, or like, that is my specialty. I went to culinary school, so I do love that. So I just kind of like, I don't know, just I guess use that in making people happy. I just feel like food always makes everything better.
I mean, it's not just food though. I can't think of great examples, but it's like you think of what would I do daily when I get home, and if there's something that you could cover because I was working late, you do it. And she's always thinking about things like that, to where I have nothing else that I need to do because I'm already tapped out. She's always got that on her mind.
I feel like he does the same thing though. Like, even though he'll say like he doesn't, I feel like you're very aware and very sweet, and especially with your words, like you affirm me a lot, and I feel like that's like something that I need, is like words of affirmation. And so you're really good at that. But yeah, I think that if you think about your spouse before you think about you, that that really does like flow into, like, you can't do that for someone consistently and then them not do it back to you. Maybe, I'm sure there's like a few people like, you don't know my husband. But for the most part, I feel like once you start just loving on someone like how Jesus loves on us, like with a bunch of grace and just like overflowing them with love, you're gonna receive that back. And so but also I think it is important in a marriage to make sure that the kids, like, my husband is first in the marriage, and I know that's really hard for a lot of women, especially because they're our babies and we love them so much, and it's easy for us to put the kids first because they need us and they're so little and cute, and I get it. But I think that is a big mistake in marriages, that you need to be a grounded front together, and then it's the kids, God, spouse, kids. And one thing that I say is to moms, like, don't start the habit of sleeping with your babies.
What?
I know, but Sadie's situation is definitely unique. Like she had cancer. That's very different. It's different if your kid is very sick or you have like a special circumstances. There are times when that is necessary. But in just general, everything's healthy circumstance, you know, put the baby in the crib. I know it's hard and it breaks our heart sometimes, and as moms, like we want to do that so much, but I think that the marriage bed is sacred, and that's something that, it should just be you two. And I think a lot of marriages get lost because there's 4 kids in between them, and how are you even going to connect? And also, moms, like, you need a break. You've been with your kids all day if you're a stay-at-home mom, or some might do it because they work and they haven't seen their kids, but like, that is you and your husband's time. And I just think it's important, and for you to refresh too, because if the kids are in the bed, you can't watch a show, you can't unwind or relax if that's happening. Should we pause and
Does that mean go get it?
get that? I said, should we pause and you go get that?
We're having an intermission.
Someone's here. Watch it be our girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. No problem. I definitely didn't think it was going to be an adult.
I didn't either.
Do you want to mention stay tuned for this podcast?
Stay tuned for this.
Yeah, I guess just kind of caught the tail end. I know the good stuff, huh?
We'll keep going for a little bit
I
longer.
hate that we're live right now, by the way.
Do you have anything? Or
I don't know what we're even talking about anymore.
Let's jump over to say there's a couple or a husband and wife, and they never had a good marriage example or modeled to them. Or say there is a woman out there that keeps going after the wrong men. I know this is like a hard question to answer. What would be, how would they know the difference between a good spouse or a bad spouse? If they just, I just think of that woman that can, maybe she had an abusive dad or never had a dad in the picture, and then all of a sudden she continually is going for the wrong man. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but I think it's important, because how would they know what a good man is supposed to be and do, and all of those things they should look for? So what would you say to that?
I think that it's the feeling that you get when you're with that person is like, if you feel safe and protected and loved, I think that is a very good sign. I can look back and like when we were younger, I didn't always make the best choices with dating as a teenager, but Jonathan, he was someone that I felt safe with as a teenager, and he just made me feel really comfortable. I think that if there's any signs of control, outlash, anger, obviously those are red flags. If there's any signs of cheating at all, or like you feel like you're struggling, like get out of that early, because all those things I just feel like are red flags, and that's going to be really hard to navigate through your marriage. Also, I think seeing if he really truly has a heart for Christ, if he's seeking him, like is he going to be able to lead you? You do not want a guy that is spiritually below you, or like you feel like you're always pulling to church, you're always trying to get them to do this or do that, or like you're leading. Like I think that's a huge sign. If you are the female and feel like you're leading the relationship, then he's gotta. I think it really all comes down to having hearts for Christ, and a man that has a heart for God and that loves God and wants to please God, because you can be the best wife ever and try to fix someone and all that, but truly God's the only one that can move someone's heart, and God's the only one that can truly have someone to change. And when he's submitted to the Holy Spirit, then the Holy Spirit's going to guide him in a lot of things, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think that you kind of just took that from me. That's the biggest thing of all is, does he have a heart for God? I would think when we met as teenagers, it's not something you could even have seen necessarily in me, but before we were married, for sure, we kind of found the Lord. Not that I always believed in him and as a child, but didn't really have a relationship with him. But the fact that we were able to do that together and see that before we were married was huge. And I think as humans, we are all built to love God, and that's something that's in our hearts, just as part of our nature. And if that person that you're looking at spending the rest of your life with can't even love the Lord that we're made to love, how can they love you? And if they love God, we know they can be made better every single day.
Yeah.
I think that's one huge thing about having a relationship with God is that you're gonna become better and better. And without that, I feel like you may just be who you are, and I don't, you never know, but I definitely think that everybody I know in my life that loves God is bettering themselves day by day, and they care, and that's not just happening by their own choice; it's by the Holy Spirit.
Well, God has a beautiful playbook in His Word, but also I know there's so many people. I've even been watching these Islam to Christianity testimonials, and it's like they're like, for the first time ever, I felt and knew what love was, and all of these things. So I think if you have the playbook of what a godly marriage should be and should be strived for, which nobody's going to hit it perfectly, but it's so beautiful to have you, your significant other, and God on the same team. I know many women that I've spoken with that don't have a believing husband really do struggle. So that is one big thing for sure. And I know of a close friend, and I've seen women over the years that they're dating these men that I feel like to me is a super obvious bright red flag, but yet to them they're shocked when he turns out he was, seeing a couple other women or doing all these things. So, ladies, is he wanting to spend time with you? Is he, when he gets off work, is he texting you right away? If he's not, if he's seen you on the weekend or on Friday nights only and making up excuses, I think maybe in your heart of hearts you know, but there's things to look out for. Like if he truly is for you and wants you, you will know that. And then are you looking in the right places for men? I tell you that my husband and I's marriage was transformed completely due to a couples group. So it was God. And so where are you looking for the right man too? So anyways, I just wanted to sneak that one in there. I think that's very important. And there is a good man out there for you if you haven't found the right one. Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places, and that's okay. Start tomorrow. But first pray, Lord, I know he's out there, and I will be patient, which is the hardest part, but pray for him. Pray for him one time and then thank God every day until he's with you. So on that note, do you guys have any final words or anything we didn't cover that you think would be important to share?
Let me see. I think one, this is a small tidbit, but I know a lot of couples will like separate in the evenings, and like one goes into this room and watches a show, and then the other one does this. We don't ever do that. We just are trying to always be together and to find a show like that we both like, or like if we have a hobby or go and do something like, I don't know. We always try to go together, and I know that sometimes you might. Sometimes it's okay to have a break from your husband, but I feel like that builds your relationship and strengthens it when you're like doing hobbies or doing stuff together instead of like living these separate lives and like this one's going to this and this one's going off to this. Like find something that you enjoy doing together so that you can spend time and invest, because that's truly how you build your relationship. Again, it comes down to that daily.
Right, and I don't know if it's already like this, how to tell you how to fix it, but it just sounds so sad to me that a lot of marriages, that person's favorite thing to do is something that they don't do with their spouse. There's so many situations I see like that, and it's like I can't give you advice on how to change that, but there's no way that my favorite thing to do is ever going to be something that doesn't involve my wife, and that might just come with time and building that type of relationship together. But I have no desire to do things without her, which is perfectly fine. It's healthy to do things without your spouse, but just the fact that I see so much of that just really surprises me.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I think doing fun stuff together, whether I don't know, I love antiquing, and he'll be a trooper and he'll go with me, but I think like when we do that stuff, it's like we always have fun together, even if it's like not the other person's cup of tea, but like we can get lunch or whatever, and then it's like surprisingly we end up liking the other thing or whatever. So just don't be so stuck in like I don't like this or I don't want to do this, and if your spouse wants to do it, be like, okay, well we can make it fun. You can make anything fun.
Yeah, maybe the best way to solve that problem is not to get rid of your hobby, but to find a way to do it together, at least sometimes. You know, it might be something you want to do with the guys too, without your wives, and that's fine, but invite her sometimes, or the wife show interest, and maybe go try it. And there's just going to be some things that you both just don't like, and that's fine. But I hope that's not your most favorite thing to do.
Well, thank you so very much for sharing your marriage experience and the tips to your great marriage. I know something that was just consistent throughout is make it fun. Remember why you guys fell in love in the first place, and keep that spark up, keep that flirting up, and go out of your way for each other. And like you said, Samantha, except for rare cases, if you are going out of your way and putting your husband first, he's going to notice, and then he's going to likely give it back to you too. So.
Definitely, yes. I think first and foremost, God at the center, but just keep it fun. Like, life's not that serious. None of us are getting out with our teeth. Like, you know, like none of us are getting out alive. We're all gonna lose our teeth. Like, smile while you can, and just have fun and be flirting, and like just a lot of grace. I think a lot of times we can hold on to grudges, but when we just have that grace and we just brush it off, it makes it way easier.
Yeah. And if you think your marriage is too far gone, it isn't. Start tomorrow. Start right now. Do something. So we hope this message has encouraged you. We have some very exciting podcasts coming up in the future. But if it has encouraged you, please share to others that you think might benefit, as well as let us know what you think. So thank you, mamas, for taking your time to listen to us again today. And we hope you have a good day.
And Nikki, what are you having for dinner?
Crap. No, I know. We are having, yes, unfortunately, we're having spaghetti with deer meat and homemade tomato sauce. My husband's probably going to cook it though. Thank you, husband. What about you?
I don't know. We have like no food. I gotta like go make something up. We do have ahi tuna steaks though. And
I feel like you're such a jerk right now. You're like, we have nothing, but you know, we have prime rib that I might just throw on for you. And after, I'm gonna get my heels on.
No, literally, I have 2 ahi tuna sticks. That's the only meat that I have in the whole house. Like, if you went and looked in the outside, like,
Just take it right in there. And
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Gonna,
After the podcast ends, we're gonna follow you in there.
Literally, let my groceries get down to like nothing.
Well, it forces her to like create these meals out of nothing, which is kind of nice for the grocery budget that's through the roof right now.
Yeah, it makes you use up everything. So I gotta go make something.
It works. I used to be annoyed by running out of everything, and I'm like, you know what? This works out really well. We have to go like 2 or 3 days with nothing, and just figure out how to survive. It really like helps with the grocery bill, and it helps use stuff we normally wouldn't use.
And somehow it turns out great every time.
And she does a great job.
Except sometimes salads, but that's okay.
Listen, those are my
parsley, right? Versus cilantro.
Yes. The grocery store pickup gave me the wrong thing.
You don't remember that, Jonathan?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't remember when I made this awesome, it looked amazing, the salad, and I was supposed to have like cilantro and this chopped up, but it was flat like parsley, but we tried it and we were both like, I could tell by your face, you were like this is the first thing ever that I didn't like. It was like so gross, and we're like, oh man, it looks so good.
Anyways.
See you next time, mamas.
Yay. Stop. Yay. Okay. Oh wait, we're still filming. Okay, let's see your ahi tunas. Okay. Are you willing to show?
Literally.
Do you want me to follow you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how are you gonna see it?
I'm doing it on my phone, so sorry if it's blurry, y'all. Look how cute our house is. Look how cute. All right. Show us what you got.
Okay. This is literally needs to be thrown out. So I have some sweet potatoes, I have cottage cheese, a bunch of condiments.
You basically have just condiments.
Cheese. Oh, we have hot dogs. I lied.
Oh, good.
So, and then literally, oof. How can I ever do it?
Stuck on something.
Empty box of waffles. So glad that's better. Here, can you make this go? Jonathan.
Yeah.
Husband, while you're here. Oh,
So I have bread.
at least you got the healthy
I
bread.
have cranberries, walnuts.
Oh, I can't wait to see what you're gonna cook up with all this.
This is Brussels sprouts, spinach, ice, a little bit of corn, the ahi tuna steaks,
That are almost freezer burnt.
ice cream, strawberries and blueberries. Oh, I do have 4. These are probably freezer burnt too. 4 sausages and some carrots.
So you're pretty thin. I mean, you're thin and your groceries thin.
Yeah.
So you just got lots of beans.
Protein, beans, and then
That's it, ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen.
So yeah, we're just gonna make something.
All right, now go give each other a big kiss. You're like, sure. You guys are cute. That was adorable.